just experienced an earthquake in New York City. Well, John just experienced it. I was in the shower. I didn't feel a thing, but he's going to tell you exactly what he went through.
Crazy. I was sitting at my desk, and you need to understand we're on the 57th floor in New York City. This is our view. So being on the 57th floor, if something would have fucking happened.
So like, what did it feel like?
So I'm sitting at my computer, and all of a sudden I feel the floor vibrating. It's like, I don't know if you guys know, but in New York City, when you're on the ground and the subway goes by, you feel the ground shaking.
Yeah.
It felt just like that. My feet were shaking. I was like, what the f-? And then I look in this corner, and I see the building is shaking like this. I was like, what the f-? And as that's happening, there's an Amtrak train on the ground, 57 floors below, and like 7 blocks away, and they pull into the train track yard. And every time they pull out, it's the first stop. They blow the horn. So I hear that going on while everything's shaking, and I'm like, there's no way that the vibration from the train is doing this. I'm like, what the f is it? So then I just assumed it was like a gigantic airplane, like a military plane or something that flew over and made the building shake. I was like, maybe that's it. I don't know. And then I thought nothing of it. Sitting there, going about my business. Ebony comes out of the shower.
No, so I'm in the shower. I didn't feel anything at all. But I get out of the shower and I took my phone off of sleep mode. And then my family group chat was just going crazy. And it was like, I got into it at the weirdest moment. It was saying like, my sister-in-law and my mom were like, oh, we're gonna have to bribe you to come back to the northeast. My mom was saying that to my sister-in-law, and I'm like, why would you have to do that? So like I go in and I read the chat, and then I just see earthquake. We just had an earthquake. So then I just casually say to John, I'm like, oh, my mom said there was an earthquake in Albany, and he goes, no. And I was like, what? He was like, I felt the whole building shake, and I'm standing here like, where was I? I'm like, I didn't feel a single thing. Right.
And you're like, when? I was like 10 minutes ago when you were in the shower.
I was like, I felt nothing. And then I keep going through the family group chat. Then I'm getting texts like from people that follow us that have our number. I was getting the emergency thing dropped by. Apple News popped down. I was like, what? And then you were like, I gotta go check and see if the post said anything. I'm like, no one's gonna say anything about this. Like nobody even felt it. He was like, no. We just had an earthquake.
And in New York City, that's like, could be devastating.
I mean, I was thinking about it. Like, Hudson Yards is right over there. And I was like, could you imagine just these buildings? There are people outside on the edge right now.
Oh, man. Can you imagine being out there?
Being outside and it just starts shaking?
My stomach just dropped.
Like, I can see people outside right now on it. But imagine these buildings just crumble.
So we
would have no chance.
No, so we are like right here, and underneath us is a balcony.
Yeah.
So there's like nothing below us. It's like,
right,
and
no,
that's why.
Straight down.
So I assume we felt more of a vibration than a lot of people because there's not a unit underneath us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Over here in this corner, it's just hanging.
I mean, I feel like. Question, like if the buildings were to fall, would they just fall straight down like when they do a demolition, or would it like tilt over?
I think it'd be like 9/11 and it would just drop.
I feel like it would just kind of like.
But it's like
it would go.
Japan just had one.
Yeah, and Taiwan or something.
Taiwan, and things happen in threes.
Oh yeah, we're like the third one.
Yeah,
but
also, they had like a
7.4,
which I can't imagine a 7.4. We had what they're saying is 4.7.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. It doesn't sound that far off.
No, that's way off. Yeah,
but
it's huge.
I also think that they build these buildings to kind of withstand a certain magnitude of an earthquake.
But
obviously,
we don't get earthquakes here. We don't get earthquakes.
We really
California gets earthquakes.
Oh, I always thought that it's a possibility.
As long as I've been here, I don't ever remember an earthquake.
I remember having one upstate my mom's house in Albany. I was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember ever an earthquake here. I experienced one earthquake once in Asia.
Really?
And yeah, that was the only time. And
was it scary?
Yeah, everything was shaking. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just shit shaking.
I feel like the Earth's just like, sorry, let me just scooch on. Let me just move over a little bit. I'm not comfortable in my spot. The tectonic plates are like,
play, man.
They're like, just let me get over here real quick. And then meanwhile, everyone's like,
Mother Nature don't play. And New York's fucking crazy. Can you imagine being on the subway? I guess you wouldn't even feel it.
You wouldn't even feel it. That is what the subway
But like,
Imagine all of these buildings.
No,
the Empire
it's
State Building,
like
Freedom
insane.
Tower, all these complexes,
Right.
these residential places. Mass fatalities.
I thought it was cool. People are texting me, "You okay? You okay? You know
It's
what
so
happened?
cool. I'm
Must
so
have been
mad
so
that I
scary."
missed it.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
I'm so mad that I missed
You
it.
know, thank God no one got hurt.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I don't know. Maybe this
Well,
is
so
a
no,
wake
I
up
just
call for
went-
New York.
right, so I
Like,
just went
you're
and-
doing shit out there. Like, let's get it together.
And then bam, earthquake. Mother Nature will always win.
Totally.
But I just went to get a wax done, and my waxer was saying that I think her cousin or her sister works in a hospital, and they evacuated everyone in the hospital.
Wow.
I'm like,
you
so
hear the
wait.
horn right now?
Yeah, that's the horn that you heard. That's the train that you heard.
That's the train.
So
But
I
that was
said-
the horn I heard, and I was like, the train has come so many times since we've been here. We've only been here like a month and a half.
Yeah.
But the train has come in and gone out so many times. I've never felt anything. And I was like, how can I feel at 57 stories high?
I always I said to my waxer, I was like, so what do they do with the people in the hospital bed?
They leave them.
They leave them inside.
They wheel them out.
I'm like, how are you gonna wheel out all those hospital beds? Like, imagine being outside on the
every
street.
man, woman for themselves.
Yeah, so
I'm kidding.
actually, it was really big in New Jersey, and I got a lot of comments of people saying New York just steals everything. Somebody said literally, you stole our sports teams, the Statue of Liberty, and now an earthquake. They're like, the earthquake started in New Jersey, and I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry. sorry, New Jersey, that we stole your earthquake. We hope that you guys are all safe and sound there.
But I mean, New Jersey, there's like no tall buildings. They're like 2 stories high. So what can possibly happen?
Their homes could collapse.
Oh.
So like 4 people would probably be injured as opposed to 4,000 people
Right.
in one building times 400. So there's a little bit more, I guess, at stake there.
I read that the Mets were practicing in Citi Field, and they felt it.
Did they
Baseball.
postpone the season at least?
The whole season. That was me. No, in California, they get them at like 6.5. So
That's bad.
6.6, 6.8. So I just want to say a New York 4.8 is a California 6.6.
That's awesome. I love
Put it on a t-shirt.
I love that.
That's a good
That's
one.
kind of bad if you say that Japan is like
No, that's terrible.
7.8 and
And-
California gets 6.5.
No,
That's
California,
not,
they get the earth like cracks.
but like
the
where?
streets
In
crack.
like the wildlife? Like where the
No,
wildfires are?
no, shit happens.
Oh, okay. Well, if anyone in the comments are from Cali and you've experienced a 6.5 earthquake, please tell us in the comments what that was like and if your house was still standing after.
Yeah, be safe out there.
Be safe, guys. Everyone take care. We're all safe in New York. Everyone's talking about it. They love that it happened. They think it's the coolest thing ever. I heard some tourists walking down the street. She was like, "This is my first time in New York and there's an earthquake. That's awesome."
My sister was scared shit. I'm like, you live on the ground floor, you're gonna be fine.
She just ran
She's
outside.
like, she did. She texted me, she's like, I ran outside and the neighbor told me there was an earthquake. She's like, and then I ran down the block. I was like,
Why would you run down
She
the block?
panicked. She texted me a half hour later, she's like, I'm still shaking.
She
I was
ran
like,
down the block like a crazy
I
one?
was like, you need to be a grown up. You're fine.
Was she yelling that there was an earthquake? What? Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
See ya.
Be safe
Peace.
and sound. Bye.